Welcome to Gray Area Live 36. We have seized Maduro, and he is now in American custody
Gotcha,
in
bitch.
New York City. Tim wins our bet.
2026, baby.
We were talking about when the global conflicts would start.
2026, baby.
And you can argue, is this a war? Is it not a war? I would say, even if he is a narco trafficker or whatever they want to say, you take another country's president and you bring him to New York and then you meme on him.
What can you say, man? What can we say?
I think we've gone full imperialist. I think today marks the day. And, you know, the world has had still a lot of goodwill for us. And people have been trying to work with us a little bit. And we try to manage and negotiate these tactics. And we'll get into it a bit later. But there are already some characters like Zelensky himself that are licking his chops.
You have big ocean.
Yes, you have big ocean and you feel pain later. But now he's saying, oh, if you do this to one dictator, you do it to another, implying Putin. But there's so much. There's so many different angles to all this. Welcome to the show.
Those comments. We got some people talking.
Oh, we got some people talking already. Okay. Yeah. Why is your dad posting 18-month-old videos of Venezuela? I don't know, man. I haven't been watching the show or looking at the Twitter.
With those, it's very easy to post something that you saw.
Let's get this out of the way really quick. This isn't the Alex Jones show. This is a gray area. We're talking about our stuff. And I clearly, and here's the thing, if you watch the show, you know this, and you know this about me and Tim, is like we don't agree with everything said on there, right? Like we have our own opinions and our own views, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and discount that right away. But we have a lot of phenomenal clips, a lot of phenomenal knowledge for y'all tonight, and Tim is gonna do a really good, really solid breakdown of what exactly happened. And how this operation went down, because this was a special forces operation. This was a Delta Force operation. The cream of the crop, the top of the top operators were involved in this. And I was mocking the Jesse Waters Fox News clip from a couple months ago where he was making it sound all cool for the boomers. But you know what I've realized is Jesse Waters is kind of right. Like that's everything they did in the operation.
Yep.
And like they had the Delta Force, they had that special helicopter unit. They use missiles. They use the helicopters.
I forget the exact count, but over 100 aircraft were used during this operation.
It's crazy.
I mean, you had tank refuel. I mean, you had refuelers. You had like drones. You had everything listed.
You had 15% of the U.S. Navy parked off the coast.
Yeah.
And like, what's the point of that? Like, did we need that to get the job done? And that's like $1 billion a day, by the way. But it's okay.
What it was for, now that I realized, it's because of that second strike he talks about, right? Like
we were ready to do another one. Yeah.
Like if they didn't get him the first time in the most like painless way of like the easy way is what they would call that plan A, then they would have probably done a lot more force.
That's true.
Especially what they're trying to do is make sure that there's like no gaps for like Venezuela to feel like they have an upper hand. And it's like when you squash the bug, you take like a gun and you shoot it. You don't just lightly tap it with a shoe. So,
well, it's very interesting to me, and I'm sure you have this in your notes. And of course, Trump says things, the U.S. government says things, and they're not true a lot of the time. But it's said, and I do believe it kind of to an extent, that no American died during this attack, right?
Yeah, that is widely reported.
Yes.
We'll know. I mean, somebody's loved one wouldn't come home. That you would know about that. So
exactly. That's very true.
I believe it though, because it wasn't like there was a plane shot out of the sky. Dude, Delta Force guys, they're no joke. We're gonna show you guys videos of how they pick and they select and what it's like to be in Delta Force. Those guys are at the same tier as like Navy SEAL 6.
Higher.
Higher, yes.
Higher tier.
So they're tier 1. Right, these are the guys that like you don't even know who they are.
You don't know they exist.
You don't know they exist. Yeah. The guys who actually go into the programs don't even know the selection process for why they were chosen. That's how
it's based. It's pretty cool.
That is how in depth this stuff is.
And look, and it's cool, and people want to go, "Hoorah! We hit them with the strike. We hit them with the missile attack. It's good, America. We got Maduro." And I get that. I do. I get being excited about it, but ultimately, the president doesn't have the kind of authority to do this thing because
War Powers
it is war,
Act.
right? Like
it is.
Isn't it? You can't say it's a targeted strike. It's a blah 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 whatever. When you have 15% of the Navy, you have the tier 1 operators go in, and you take someone's president
and close the airspace around it. You know, remember we covered this. It's like they closed the airspace. We know what happens next, guys.
Right.
And that was probably like a month ago. Now they waited a little bit. They were thinking about doing this on Christmas, but they had better things to do in Nigeria and bomb, so that mission took precedence.
Well, it's our oil, Tim. You have to remember this. This is very important, and Trump educated me because I as a ignorant American chud, I didn't understand. But as soon as I watched the presser, I was then filled with the American pride because it's our oil, right? And anywhere that has oil,
it's our oil.
Anywhere that we find or discover has oil or natural resources,
that's mine.
It belongs to us.
That's mine,
especially in our hemisphere. So I've seen a lot of those old political cartoons. I don't have them pulled up right now or anything, but I've seen like modernized versions of like a Trump Monroe Doctrine. Like, they had like Teddy Roosevelt stepping over like Cuba and whatnot because of the Spanish-American War.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
We've actually made a new version of that, of the Monroe Doctrine. I didn't bring it up to cover it now, but recently we've actually redefined that, and we're kind of going back to that time period.
That's in that military memorandum that also defines our new relationship with Europe.
Exactly.
It's a changing world, folks, and like that's what we cover on the show, and we go on a lot of different angles, and we're having it's like a bloodhound, both of us now. We're trying to figure out which scent to follow first because there's so much of it to cover tonight. But that's what we try to do on the gray area, because we're not trying to push a narrative. Ultimately, like, we believe in the law and we believe in God and stuff like that. But as far as the information comes out, it's up for us to make our own determinations. And when you see a talking head, even people like us who are yapping about this stuff, it's up to you to do your own research. But we'll provide the resources for you to do that and provide you hopefully something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
We've got a ton of content lineup. You guys better this whole episode.
New Year's going to be great too.
Yeah, this whole episode is literally dedicated to this issue. We don't normally film on Saturdays, but we just had to. What was it like this morning when you woke up? Because this was the first thing I saw on I was like, I saw your text messages and I was like, what are you talking about?
I texted you, I called you, I hung up after like 3 rings. I didn't want to wake you up.
I was knocked.
Yeah, I thought so. And then I think you called me back.
I called you back
a few
after
hours
I saw
later.
it.
But, I woke up, I didn't even look at Twitter, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh shit. And I started retweeting everything. I was just like, retweet over and over and over again. Like, literally. And it's just so much information to process. But it's like that meme they say, like the chud jack goes like nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people posting him dead today because something happened, right? Something did in fact happen. And I think that this is the beginning of the happening, right? And maybe it'll be a few weeks, a few months, a few years. You're already seeing it. And there are points in the Trump press conference that I want to get to where he's talking about Colombia. And he's saying, well, the president has cocaine mills down there. That's really not okay. And he should watch his ass. That's what he said. That's what he said. And we'll play it and we'll watch it.
Yeah.
But he's saying that. He's tweeting out things about peaceful protesters in Iran. And if they get hurt, we'll like military response, basically. And it's just like, man, like false flags happen all the time.
Hey, look, man, he's right though on one thing. There's a big difference between him and Biden when it comes down to show of force. Like Biden in this circumstance, with all of these things, was really more passive about it. This guy's trying to rule by like an iron fist. Now, that strategy will come back to haunt us, guys, by the way. This isn't something that like people are sitting here watching across the world and being like, well, I support this. This is really good for the country. No, like there's people that are like, okay, now we got to move different because this could happen to us.
Very
and
true.
We don't want that to happen. So other countries, they're going to start arming themselves. But let's get into the content here.
I agree. I just want to like pontificate on this a little bit. We're just getting into the episode. So just another little like 2, 3, 4 minute on this.
Go ahead.
We have created a situation globally, worldwide, over the past 40 to 30 years that has made it really like you have to be brain dead as another country to not look for another option, right? You have to be brain dead to not try to leave the Western financial system. And especially with the past 2 presidents, Democrat and Republican, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both of them weaponized the financial system, the global financial system, against other countries.
Now we're weaponizing the weapons.
Yeah, now we're weaponizing the weapons, and we're weaponizing the resources. We're saying, we're making the claim because Exxon came in and did development work that our country owns your oil. And in the interview that we'll watch later on in the stream, he makes it very clear. He says, look, it's our oil. It's ours. It belongs to us. Oh, and we're going to develop it to help the Venezuelan people. It's going to help them too, but it's going to help us as well. And it's just like, that's robbery. And that's not what I voted for. I don't care how much you scapegoat or call someone evil or whatever. And everyone's evil. That's my point. I always talk about it. The Star Wars narrative of the Rebel Alliance versus the Empire. That's just not how the world works.
You know why this time is different, dude?
Why?
Because we have social media. We've actually been doing this for decades, and we're all sitting here in the passenger seat actually watching it play out live, like without like, and we're not even trying to hide it this time. It's just like in plain sight for everybody to sit there and see. Take it how you will, but it's a very clear case that like, look, you had mentioned before America needs to look something about America looking out for its best interest. That's what we do. This is exactly what we're doing right now as of current.
But it's all short term, right? Like the United States is like a meth addict that's homeless, and the meth addict is like, okay, well, I need $200 to fulfill my habit and be good for a week. So I'm just going to go walk down the street and I'm going to break into a house. And I'm going to beat people up and take their money and take their stuff and try to sell it. Right. And the United States is the same way. We're like, look, We don't have the heavy oil. They have the heavy oil. We don't have control of them. There's Chinese, Russian influence, possibly military technology. Fuck that. It's our hemisphere. We can do whatever we want. Boom, 15% of our Navy.
It's pretty hypocritical, though, if you think about it.
Like, extremely.
Like, just think about how close we are to like China. Like, we've got bases in Japan, like literally installations.
The Philippines, Japan, Korea, all of it.
We've got we're starting to create more military bases starting in the Philippines again after we had occupied it for a while. We had withdrawn, and now we're revamping. If you look at Russia's side, we've got countries all along Europe, and we even have missiles in like Turkey and everything like that. Like, it's just everything is in the enemy's backyard.
And it's so weird because all these countries, they wheel and deal and they have different protocols with each other. Like, Turkey is in NATO and it's in BRICS. Like, it's the only country in the world that's like that. But there are these weird anomalies, and just everywhere you look around the globe, you're like, huh, like, what happened to Libya? Why are there open air slave markets there? Why is it a failed state? Oh, yeah, we killed the guy in 2011 by shoving a knife up his ass who had the highest standard of living for any place in Africa in his country. And now they have slavery. How did that happen? Oh, we were involved. Okay, that makes sense. And then you look at just every other interaction we have globally around the world. We are instigating these things, right?
And we're looking at near-term reactions and not anticipating long-term effects.
Right. And it's that's what I hear from every single like colonel, CIA officer or ex-CIA, like all the Ray McGovern, Lawrence Wilkerson, the all those type of people. That's what I hear from them is we don't think strategically, we think tactically.
Right.
Like, it's just one decision after the next.
Let me clarify. So New Groper says, let's not pretend China, Russia, and other big countries who are not doing it too. Yes, they are trying to do it. They were trying.
What is
doing as far as we were talking about the bases and like military expansion and trying to like play those cards.
Well, yes,
look,
of course.
We don't allow it. One of the reasons why we took out Venezuela specifically was because Venezuela, and maybe we do play this clip.
Yeah.
China,
the deputy foreign minister. What's going on here? This is and look at the look at the caption here. China went to meet with Maduro today to discuss joining forces. Then Trump captures Maduro the same day. Savage. No, it's bad for geopolitical relations. Imagine you're China, you send your foreign dignitary over to a country, and then you got
the snatch and grab. Yeah, snatch and grab, like literally hours later.
You bring back great memories. Happy New Year. This is the year of the horse, right? Are you horse? I'm a tiger.
Wow.
Chinese zodiac, I think. It's been so long. I met him when he was very young. Epstein, very, very young.
20 years ago.
20 years ago, I met you.
So
when bro looks defeated though. Bro is like, I'm cooked.
He's
like,
exhausted.
He knows
he's exhausted.
He knows he's cooked. But like, this isn't just some foreign dignitary. This would be like another country attacking a country when we had like Dan Bongino there, like a deputy in the cabinet, right? This is a big deal.
And so look, these meetings don't happen. It's not just an economic reason for like why they're talking to Russia, why they're talking to China. Eventually, if you gave Venezuela enough time, I guarantee you they would allow for these Chinese and Russians to build bases there. The United States is being proactive and basically saying, not in my backyard.
Well, and you know what? That makes sense. And that's the part of the whole operation that makes the most sense to me. I'm not here to just be a pure hater, even though I am very disappointed and angry at Trump because I feel like I wasted my vote. But at the same time, I do understand the strategic importance of the Monroe Doctrine and of potentially if another country is trying to build a military base in our backyard or bring missiles like the Cuban Missile Crisis,
I'm not
do something about it.
And I'm not necessarily complaining in the fact that like, you know, probability that a missile gets launched on us tomorrow without us knowing and having enough time, you know, that's not very likely.
Right.
But at the same time, again, it's these negative feedback loops that we talk about. Don't really know who started it. No one's finishing it. But the only reason why now they're like, well, we got to build bases is because they're like, well, you have them near us. And so it's like that game where like, you know, both Spider-Mans are pointing at each other.
That's funny.
And it's like,
it's true. And I mean but that's how the world operates. And that's what people don't understand because of the selective propaganda based on wherever they live, right? If you're Russian, you get Russian propaganda. China, you get Chinese propaganda. America, you get American propaganda. And I think ours is probably the worst. Honestly,
I think no. Well, China has excellent control.
China has score and all that.
China has excellent control over their people.
I get it, but here's the thing: they ultimately know that, like, yeah, like we have kind of hybrid capitalist communist system, but like we're run by the Communist Party XYZ. America is liberty, freedom, America. You can vote and change the future. Sign up now.
Yeehaw.
And then that's just a total lie. So I feel like the hypocrisy makes it worse.
Yeah.
That's my view on it. But you are objectively correct on that. I think
right. And so and what we're seeing, guys, here is gear up for what we call World War III.
Right. It's coming.
And look, China has just come out recently in these last, I don't remember the time period, but they're talking about it's pretty eminent that we're going to take over Taiwan, and like we're not budging on that.
Yes. New Groiper with the excellent comment. China will attack Taiwan this year. The era of diplomacy is ending, whether we like it or not. So why not secure 14 trillion in gold and kick the other countries from the Western Hemisphere?
Well, you know, that's kind of part of the reason why we're here.
Right.
You know, somebody's got to concede. Somebody's got to do the right thing. And look, at the end of the day, we're the grown up in the room as a country. So we have to lead, we have to lead by example at a certain point and concede. Because here's the thing. We could be like, okay,
I'm laughing,
China,
but you're right.
China's going to backstab us. Russia could backstab us because we give a vulnerability, and maybe so. But at the same time, if you actually make a legitimate effort to actually make the cooperation, there is a glimpse or an ounce of these countries actually wanting to actually cooperate. But whatever.
Well, you know, I will cooperate. Excuse me, the nicotine pouch. Cooperate with who? Cooperate with themselves or cooperate with the United States? Because I would make the argument that they've been trying to cooperate with us. And like a country like China, I think they hold 750 billion in our treasuries now. That number has dropped from $1 trillion over the past few years. So they're gradually selling that off and selling that off and selling that off.
Well, it was in their best interest to do that.
No, I agree. But my point is the one glaring weakness that I see for the U.S. is our debt, right? And specifically how much debt is held by these other countries. If the EU decided to do something, if China decided to do something, if all these other countries decided to do something, we would be in real trouble. It would be a real problem. Right. And there are a lot of potential what ifs to how the Great Collapse starts. I think that's one of the big potential like there's more a 3% chance of that happening.
Yeah. You know? Well, think about it. Great Britain after World War II no longer became the superpower because of World War II. And the United States survived all of the turmoil and all the bombing that happened that decimated a lot of their manufacturing and their infrastructure that actually made them the superpower to begin with. And that's how the United States was like, whoop, slip on in. So
where do you want to go with this?
Let's go with let's start with explaining. Wait, where are we here?
This is just the second X clip. If you want to go into your breakdown of the attack, I think that would be good.
Okay, let's start there then. So what do we need to know? Actually, let's watch. I want to watch some of the explosions and fireworks.
That's a good idea. That's always a good idea.
People need to see something tantalizing.
Yeah, and I mean, you wake up to seeing this. You wake up to seeing this footage. I mean, this looks like a volcano, right? What even is that? So that's coming down from a helicopter.
I don't know what it is. Sounds like a choo-choo.
Those are U.S. AH-64, Apache, and CH-47 Chinook helicopters attacking the capital city of Caracas. Wow.
Imagine you just chilling, just like watching TV, and you just start hearing bombs fly over here.
Right. And the thing is, as Americans, we don't imagine that.
No, we can't even fathom it.
We don't.
Can't even fathom it.
And that's why 9/11 was such a big deal, right? That was one of the few times it's actually happened on our soil.
Unspeakable. It is
loud. Yeah,
lady, stop screaming.
Terror. Yeah. Damn. There you go. You got helicopters filming on Snapchat or Instagram. Wow.
There was this guy who was who had like a video. Oh, damn, I wish I pulled it. He was literally just walking around like his like local outdoor like space.
Right.
And then all the power just goes out. And then you just hear like purge style sirens go off. And like, dude, I would be terrified.
Dude, that's why you gotta have a gun, because at least you got a chance. Like that,
against that bomb. Against that bomb.
Well, I'm talking about like civil unrest and like panic in the streets, right? Because like that's the thing that scares me the most about an event like this is when the power goes out and the military is fighting like a foreign invader. There's no law, right? You want to talk about people that like riot and loot.
Delta
like,
Force will look at you and laugh.
Right.
You got your little Glock 9 and they'd be like, that's cute.
Right. Oh, I'm talking about other Venezuelans like seizing on an opportunity. Right.
Oh, can we play this Trump?
Which one?
The one that you were just at before this?
Absolutely. You want to see the Trump meme?
Yeah, the Trump meme.
The first iPad kid president, ladies and gentlemen. He's an iPad kid. All right.
Venga por mí.
Come for me.
Aquí lo esperan Miraflores. No se tarden en llegar.
Don't take too long to arrive, coward.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.
It's too much, man. I'm the Eagle. Epstein files. What are those? Boom, boom, boom. Every one of those is like $500,000 probably more.
Yeah.
Every explosion.
Look at that tax
That's your
dollar.
money.
Tax dollar.
Yeah, look
tax
at your
dollar.
money. Look at your money. Look, New Year's fireworks. Actually, he gave us some real New Year's fireworks
Yes,
with
he
this,
did.
right?
Yes, he did.
Venga por mí.
But I mean, this is a real fuck up. And I didn't realize how much he had challenged him. Sorry,
I didn't realize it either.
Don't take too long to arrive, coward. Okay.
Don't test me.
Okay. Maybe you don't want to say that to Trump.
No.
Maybe that's a bad idea.
You read Trump's
oh,
book.
man.
And you look,
okay. He's cooked. He asked for it.
Trump holds grudges. He doesn't take things lightly. You say and you call him out. He's like, oh, I got some for you.
Right. And he did. And it's just like he talked about on the debate stage, like handing the dude a photo of his house or whatever, having a guy do that and being like, hey, like, we'll hit you. This is a level never before seen. Right. And it's invading a country. Okay. Even if it's just to take one person.
Somebody comes and tries to kidnap the person in the president in the White House. What happens?
Right.
That's a declaration of war, is it not?
Well, it's nukes, but see, they don't have those. So we didn't have to worry about that. And that's ultimately the thing of like, yeah, it's cool. And we'll get into the operators and the equipment and all
go to
of
that photo that I have down there.
Go to the photo? Okay.
No, down. Yeah.
I got you.
Just pull up the one with the, and I'll give you guys the breakdown. Not that one, the other one.
10-4.
We'll start with the.
Just go ahead.
Start with the breakdown. All right. So, guys, let's just get into the nitty gritty of what actually happened here. All right. So, we all know that Nicolas Maduro has been seen publicly on the second that China, he was basically
deputy foreign minister.
The foreign minister. They had their meeting and everything like that. So, at 10:46 p.m., Donald Trump authorizes the U.S. operation. Okay.
Go in there. Get it done.
Around 12:50 a.m., residents and journalists have reported explosions and military craft over Caracas. Roughly, this only took 3.5 hours, guys. By the time that this started to end, 3.5 hours in which the U.S. conducted the precision airstrikes, inserted special operations forces, and then they kidnapped Maduro and his wife, which I'm sure you guys have seen by now. Now, at 4
kidnapped, arrested, bravely.
Some people said his kids. I didn't see anything that confirmed that, but I could be wrong as well. But I would think they would just take the parents. But at 4:21 a.m., Trump publicly announced 35 years to the minute after the U.S. captured Manuel Noriega. Who was in Panama. We had done something similar back in the day. And
that was the one operation that they always point to, be like, we can do it. We can do it. We've done it before.
This was strategic for him to do that.
And it was very, Trump likes to do stuff like that. He understands the power of symbolism and like, petty magic and stuff like that. He gets it. He gets it.
Now, the name I think right now that's being used for this is Operation Resolute Sentinel. I don't know if this is actually confirmed quite yet. But if you look at this chart, guys, here, these are the actual sites that were struck. So you got Fuerte Tuna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Venezuela's main military base and their command center. They want to disable the command and control. They wanted to prevent coordinated response, so they took that out. Then they took out the Colorata Air Base, which controls the airspace over Caracas.
You're not doing a bad job pronouncing. You're doing a good job. Actually.
And you've got the houses that actually keep the helicopters, to transport helicopters and the aircraft. And that's basically, they just want to prevent anybody from escaping, and they want to secure that dominance. You got Cerro de la Volcán, El Volcán.
Damn, dude.
I actually am fluent in Spanish.
Pretty good.
This is me butchering it. But okay, Okay, so military communication, and this is where their radar relay site is. So that's like the first thing you're going to do, so that you can take out
communication.
Yep.
Take out reinforcements. And he was in a house, right? And the thing Trump says during the presser is like he was trying to get to the safe room, but he didn't get too far, right?
The fifth place that was taken out, Meseta de Mamo, and then that's an air defense radar that's tied to the missile systems. This is basically so that their aircraft, like the helicopters you saw that were taking out assets, could actually get in and out. And then you have La Guerra port, which is the primary seaport for Caracas and logistics, where they've got fuel. And again, that was another evacuation place that they want to eliminate, as well as reinforcements or any foreign support. And then you have Miranda State air facilities, and then secondary airfields. Those are where like you've got helipads. So basically, this was just coordinated. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew exactly where they wanted to take out, and then they were able to go in there. And Rex, who did they send in there, by the way?
They sent the tier 1 operators.
Let's pull up what those guys look like real quick for everybody to see.
Go ahead and get into it real quick.
All right, so Delta Force. All right, Delta Force. They are tier 1. So pull this up for everybody to see. United States has different tiers when it comes to like who's most lethal, and tier 1 is like the top dogs. Tier 2 is like SEAL team that you would normally see like went in for bin Laden, but Delta Force is like, you want to go in there.
It's a step beyond all the other ones.
Yeah.
Green Beret, SEAL team, Ranger, all of it. But people get selected from those groups to go into Delta Force.
The elite of those tier 2 groups get selected for that. So with that being said, with Delta Force being used, the reason why, and let's actually pull up some videos of exactly like what they do and actually how they actually select these guys, because it's no joke.
How would you just?
How good could these guys be?
How would you just? What's your primary weapon system?
We got Sean Ryan assaulting our ears right now.
Go back up.
Second.
Just scroll back up.
I'm afraid because it's not going to be muted.
No, you'll be fine. Just
how would you do?
Going?
Okay.
How good?
All right, there you go.
All right, let's go ahead and watch this.
You guys are going to be shocked by this.
Could these guys be? You know, because I've been doing CQB, NSF for a while. Been
CQB
in CQB schools
quarter
and stuff.
combat.
It's like, can they really be that much faster and that much better? Like, because I don't have a point of reference, you know what I mean? And I'm a little bit arrogant guy myself. And so when you get to the team and then my 2IC, he says to me, it's like, hey, when we're going on team runs, you know, doing CQB in the buildings, he's like, hey, man, just throw chem lights and try to keep up. And I'm like, okay. Like, you know, watch, you know, me being my little bit of arrogance, like, you know how good I am, you know what I mean? And so what did I do for the next few weeks? Throw chem lights and try to keep up. These dudes have been doing it at this level together. I mean, there's intuitive shit they're doing. He's leaning and he knows what he's doing already. Like, these guys know each other in the house, under nods. It's incredible. It just created this fighting force that was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
So
that's the thing. And those people are all trained in Iraq. They're trained in Afghanistan. They're trained in God knows how many conflicts we don't know about. And there's a difference between, you know, like, there's a guy and then there's a guy. There's a guy and there's a guy that could be in the NFL. There's a guy and there's a guy that could be in the NBA. There's a guy and there's a guy who can be one of these.
Right.
People.
So to give you the equivalency, like a Green Beret is like college level football or basketball. These Delta Force and that's also SEAL team.
We're gonna get all the
Delta Force.
Matt, I guarantee.
Delta Force is like NFL, NBA.
Yeah. We love you. We're civilians.
We're civilians.
I guarantee.
But look,
I guarantee we have a couple fans that are in
CQB training. Like they do this every day for months. You miss the standard, you get cut. Like they're not playing games. They do recruiting twice a year.
Right. And
only about like 5% of people actually get selected from the actual smaller population. And that next video is going to show you exactly the process. It's actually insane.
All right.
Some of the training that these guys go through and the selection process for this.
Delta Force.
They are the Army's Tier 1 Special Missions Unit, known as Delta Force, or simply the unit.
Yeah, they go by many names, all of them unofficial.
For those on the inside, it's just CAG, Combat Applications Group.
Because no one speaks of Delta Force officially.
And many who get there start here at Fort Benning, qualifying as Army Rangers. These are some of the toughest of the tough.
What you're doing is you're
Those
taking
people are really
elite
cool.
soldiers
Yep.
out of special
They're great
forces
people. I've
and
met a lot of
Rangers,
people like
and you're
this over
training
my
them
life.
to ridiculously high levels.
It's from these ranks and from the best of the 82nd Airborne, Special Forces or Green Berets that Delta Force selects its operators. Those who make it into the unit have already served their country, often in combat. Their average age is mid-30s.
I did enlisted time, lieutenant time, captain time in the Rangers, and then I had the opportunity to try out for the unit.
And by the way, these guys look normal in real life. They don't choose the big, muscly, brolic dude that's got
they don't want. And I heard them talk about this one time, and not the Delta Force, but the SEAL team people. I heard them talking about this on one of the shows, one of the podcasts. They don't select for like a quarter horse, like a sprinter. They select for a pack mule. It's a person that you can rely on, that can work for days and weeks under the worst conditions possible, under the worst psychological conditions possible. It's about having a constellation of skills that most people only have one of. You have all those things.
Yep.
And you're able to operate in that elite space.
And you have insane intelligence. These are guys with high IQs, guys who have extremely good reflexes. They test for all of these different things.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like the average vertical jump for a man in the US is 26 inches, right? The record at the combine is at the NFL combine is 48. So the difference between an average guy and then someone with the level of neuromuscular efficiency as one of these people, they are basically pro athletes. That's how you could think of them, right? It's another way to think of people like this, right?
Yep.
And of course, they're also enhancing themselves. They're on other substances and whatnot. These people are taking steroids. These people are taking stimulants. Like you're sending the Space Marines after someone. You're sending Master Chief after someone when you deploy these people.
Don't want to mess with these guys.
You do not.
I started out in Special Forces, then went to the selection and assessment program for Delta.
Started out as a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne. From there, I went to 5th Special Forces. After that, I decided to try out for a special mission unit.
Trying out to be an operator is just the beginning of a long, grueling path.
To get into Delta, based on what we know, twice a year they hold selection processes.
Selection is a month-long course designed to choose from the best combat-hardened soldiers in the U.S. military to go into the operator qualification course.
Out of my two classes of 120 people each, probably 12 to 14 made it.
90% of our best soldiers can't make it through selection. Of the 10% who do get selected and then go on to the operator qualification course, up to 50% of them still wash out throughout the process.
Okay, so we get the point.
It's almost like Ivy League, you know? It's like higher than Ivy League.
It's beyond. It's tier one. They are the best, and they're the best because they're able to do stuff like this. They're able to snatch a leader of a country from the most secure place that his country could guard him from, take out all their military assets, take out any communication, and snatch and grab him. He's in New York in like 9 hours.
As much as people joke about it, in this picture, I kind of chuckled myself, dude. I would be shitting bricks,
dude. He's
terrified.
He's terrified. He honestly, like, here's the thing. I don't agree with this military operation. I understand the rationale for it, and I get the argument that's being made. Ultimately, it is illegal, and like this guy, he's going to die in U.S. custody. He's going to die.
They'll never let him out. There's like no reason, no incentive to let him out. They don't want to even let him be a risk at like getting back into power at any given point.
Yes. I mean, Diddy is going to get out in like 4 years. This guy will get out never. And Trump, meanwhile, Trump pardoned the Honduran guy who was convicted of trafficking 430 tons of cocaine. Mm-hmm. But you see, Maduro's the problem. Maduro's bad. And hey, I get it. You want to make that argument. It kind of holds water a little bit if you talk about future United States national security, but you can't deny it's imperialist, and he should have had congressional approval to do anything like this.
This is true.
And the argument they use in the press conference, Tim, is they go, well, Congress is known to leak things. So we're going to do it and then let them know that it's happened. And
no, there would have been filibusters.
Yes,
there would have been
beyond a leak. They would have stopped it from happening. They would have stopped it from happening. So the president deliberately goes against the will of the branch of government that is supposed to authorize things like this or sign off on them by a lie of omission, by not telling them it's happening. Right.
And guess what? He's not the first president to do this,
No.
and none of them have ever been impeached or
No.
prosecuted for
But
this.
see, it's expanding. The scope of it is expanding.
Oh, 100%.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
It's
and
like,
bigger.
what even is the point in Congress at this point?
Right.
Because an executive order is as good as a law, you know?
Yes, it's very, very good way to put it. An executive order is as good as a law. And these are the folks, these are the tier 1 operators that we were talking about, and they didn't black out the dog's face. He's a good boy, Maduro.
I think they sent a dog in too.
I mean, he's there. He's on the team. Apparently, these are the guys that did it.
And these guys, like, I can't even imagine. Like, okay, so I know a guy who actually like made it all the way to like Green Beret and was doing Green Beret training. Just from going through that process, psychologically never the same.
Right.
Like not to say that we brainwash, but you are psychologically brainwashed.
Well, they turn you. You ever seen
into
Full Metal Jacket, Tim? They turn you into a killing machine.
Yeah,
and like it's your job to kill and take over and conquer. Like, that's what your job.
The guy you were before you went into the military, the families, it's like a cyborg. It's a whole nother person when they come back out and when they're done. Now, again, it takes time for some. It's not everybody, but there's a good portion of people that go through an entire like neurological change just because of like all the things that they do to get you prepped, keeping you always in a ready adrenaline state so that way you can always quickly react.
You can always operate like that, and then your life is ruined essentially because it's hard to come out of stuff like that. That's sadly.
He told me he still has that killer instinct sometimes, but it's controlled. Like he's not just gonna go shoot up, but like he's like the wrong guy to snap.
And I think this is true, like for any like real combat veteran that's seen like real conflict like that, that'll scar you and that'll change you forever. Obviously, of course, they do that to these guys from day one. And I see Aussie Welder, shout out to you, Aussie Welder, making the point in the YouTube chat. He says, ha ha ha, when you massively overpower the other country and op like this is not hard. They flew in 30 choppers of soldiers to arrest 2 people. That is not very impressive. Dude, they in 3 hours, they took the president of a country, separated him from his military, probably killed a whole bunch of people, got him out of there, and had him in New York by the time Trump ate McDonald's.
And you don't think that Maduro doesn't have like maximum level security when he knows that like his life is at threat?
Now, we're going to do a caveat here, and I'll pose an interesting question to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So does this happen without at least a partial Venezuelan military stand down? Right? Because these people on paper, they do have the Russian air defense weapons. They do have things like that. I know we hit their air bases in places where they'd probably have stuff like this, but I find it to be very suspicious that I believe this part, like that not a single American died in the attack, although some were wounded. I find it very suspicious why that is the case.
Okay.
Right.
So look,
or maybe you break it down more context.
We've been out there for like the last like 4 or 5 months. Right. Again, they spend the amount of time that they fly things over. We're mapping everything out. We're literally have people in. You forgot. Remember, we authorized people to go in there to find intelligence on where people are located. They're doing everything from like when the guards are up, when they go to sleep. They're mapping all of these things out. When you have a situation like this that's at like 3 o'clock in the morning and none of these people are expecting it, and they choose these celebration time periods for a reason because everybody's kind of more in a relaxed mood and everything.
I mean,
like
he
that.
literally gave us fireworks for New Year's.
Right. So what I'm trying to say with this is when you overwhelm and create chaos, which is exactly what this is, there's no way. I don't think they conceded. It was just they didn't know what to do. The chain of command. They take out all of your ability to actually communicate with each other. There's a ship. I think it's not the Iwo Jima, but there's a ship that's specifically designed.
It's a special forces ship.
Yeah. To block all communications within a specific radius. They're doing all of that. They're literally there's no way for them to coordinate. So then all of Delta Force, all they have to do is, specifically after they bombed everything else, you go in and you're basically taking guys out. And I'm sure there's probably like 20 to 30 dudes dead inside of the wherever he's at.
Right. And here's the thing, and I see Aussie Welder again in the chat. They claimed to have the S-300, S-400. And maybe that's a lie. Probably that's a lie. Who knows? But they did claim to have.
Okay, even if you have, let's say, 10 of those, again, against an F-35 or some of these.
But that's not what they use. They use a helicopter.
No, they didn't just use the helicopter.
Oh shit! Okay.
There was hundreds of aircraft involved
it
in
gets
this.
worse.
So
It
like
gets
it
worse.
wasn't just that was like the helicopters go in after the other things come in and blow things up.
Is that confirmed? We actually used aircraft in the attack?
Yeah, we used. I'm gonna pull up exactly what.
Let's go ahead and
what
get
aircraft.
into it. That's crazy. While you do that, I'm gonna play world leaders reacting to this. Sorry, I drove back from hunting. It's been a long day.
In from world leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened overnight. We have our CB Cotton, who has been following reaction from all over the world. CB, there's been plenty of reaction here in the United States. Democrats, Republicans split on whether or not this was an illegal or legal move. But around the world, there's also harsh reaction as well. What can you tell us, CB?
Hey, Brian, that's right. Well, this morning, the UN Secretary General released a statement saying he is deeply concerned that international law may not have been respected. As you mentioned, global leaders are watching as all of this unfolds to see what comes next for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy. In Europe, the European Council president released a statement, Antonio Costa, and he said he was following the developments with, quote, great concern, urging de-escalation and respect of international law.
That's funny. The EU is like, oh, don't be violent, don't be violent, don't be violent. They're hypocrites too. They do the same shit.
Yeah. Some Latin American countries are also making similar calls. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum reposted the official statement of her country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which condemned the strikes as a violation of the United Nations and called for dialogue, not force. U.S. adversaries are also weighing in. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs writing in part on X, quote, the pretext used to justify these actions are untenable. Russia reaffirms its solidarity with the Venezuelan people. Iran and its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which also has a long history of conflict with the U.S. Well, he has rattled off a series of posts this morning about the strike, including one which says in part, quote, what's important is when one realizes an enemy wants to force something on one's government or nation with false claims, they must stand firmly against the enemy.
And that's where we're going next, folks. If not Taiwan, that's where we're going next. Is we're going to have a conflict in Iran.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you think those riots are accidental?
No, absolutely not. Oh well, if you kill a protester, we're going to do land invasion.
Are also voices of support. Argentina's president, a strong ally of President Trump, wrote, quote, freedom advances. Long live freedom. And in the UK,
well, of course, Mr. I just got 40 billion bailout from the US, and Mr. Okay, now Argentinian beef can be sold in the US at discount.
Yeah.
Of course, the buddy is going to say it's a good thing.
He's the Argentinian Trump, remember?
Right, right. I mean, look.
Reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage, he questioned the legality of the attack, but said it may lead to a favorable outcome. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Well, he says it breaks the law.
It does.
But if it makes China and Russia think twice, it may be a good thing. Why do we have to do this? And we'll go back to the video. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to fight? We must do it for our countries, our resources. Why do we have to destroy the planet and have all these old boomers and Gen X people fuck everything up because they're going to die in 20 years and they don't care anyway. And it's about winning to them. Why can't we just live the life?
It's a little song. It's a little song called "Here Comes the Money."
It's true.
Money.
But it's not even that much money, right? It's a lot of money for the billionaires at the top that truly control everything. But these politicians that sell out for like a couple million to like kill people, really?
Oh, the thing is, you're so far removed from the conflict, you don't really think about it. It's not like it's your loved ones or anything like that. So like somebody comes to your doorstep, 2 million, and they also like, you don't have to worry about all these other things. You're going to take that.
And then we got New Groyper saying humans have warred for thousands of years and it'll never stop. Wouldn't it be nice if it did stop? Like, isn't that the whole point? And I know you have a point, Tone. I'm not trying to step on it, but here's my thing. Can't we aspire to have great things in the world? And by great things, like what is a great accomplishment? What made America great? It was that everyone for
Trump
a brief period
made
of time,
America great again.
for a brief period of time in the 50s and 60s and whatever past World War II, there was overwhelming prosperity and wealth and opportunity for people, and there were civil rights being expanded, and it was a great time period. And instead of seeing more of that, we have seen less of that. We have seen a return to violence and conflict and death. And we take pride in the violence, conflict, and death because it's the only thing that we have. I'm not saying you're taking pride in it. I'm just saying, can't we imagine a world that's better? We have nuclear weapons.
Let me bring you some white pill into this, all right? So, on a net basis, society has gotten way more peaceful.
We've talked about this,
right?
We did a show about
we did a show about this. I don't have the chart on me quite yet, but because we didn't have cameras and we didn't have social media to actually like show what was happening, back in the day was a lot more deadly than what we're experiencing.
I want a black pill so hard now.
I know you do, but we're talking about war.
You're talking about wars decreasing. The lethality has increased. They can nuke. They can launch a nuke.
So ever since the nukes actually came out, it decreased the amount of actual conflicts between major powers that actually create conflicts, right?
Of course.
We're going to see the decline keep going as people get tired, more and more tired because of the whole new narrative. But you just have to look at probability. You have to just look at beyond the headlights. You have to look at beyond what the media pushes because it's designed to give you the negative aspects.
I mean, I disagree. Like I think we're allowed to be negative about this. I think this is really bad. And you make the point about the world becoming more peaceful because of the nuclear weapons. And that's true. We're not having a full-on World War II style conflict between nations. That being said, we talk about a lot of the smaller countries and people that like aren't often thought about by the major powers, right? And this just means their nations will be the battleground.
So just think about it.
They will fight proxy wars in these little countries,
right? And eventually that'll stop. But
that's a claim. That's not.
It is. You have to look at the numbers, right?
Okay.
If you look at the data, yes, we have had wars, we have conflicts, the entire existence of humanity. It's about the frequency. Yes, proxy wars, because that's the only route now because we've taken out all the other routes. Back in the day, if this were to happen and like, let's say, Venezuela is still buddy with China and what is it called? China and Russia. There was a high likelihood that China and Russia would have actually declared war. Now people think twice because of the fact that their economies are so intertwined. So the thing is like, yeah, there's resource grabs and proxy wars because like those areas haven't been developed, but eventually those areas will actually start catching up with the rest of society.
You know what? Maybe I agree with you because the rest of the world has become much less warlike. The Europeans and the US have become much more warlike over the past 50 years.
And
that's my argument.
And I'm not sitting there saying that we haven't. Like United States just became the new Great Britain, right? But again, the sun always has to set on the superpower at some point. We already know we're in the decline. A new order has to come.
Right.
It might not be, it's going to be in our lifetime, dude.
Yeah.
We're going to see it.
I don't know. I think we agree on more than we disagree on this. Maybe I'm just not seeing like the point. Like I see this as a bad omen, like the straw that broke the camel's back type of situation. I see this as an excuse for a country like China to be aggressive or an excuse for Russia to be aggressive. I don't see this as, a limited strike. It's a limited strike in the sense that it's limited in regards to America and the US doing things. This is an accelerant globally to conflict.
And so here's my analysis to the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I see it. World War III, I think, is inevitable. Right. But the damage that comes from a World War III will be so great because now just remember World War I and World War II, the economies were not intertwined like they are today. OK, there wasn't like really a mutually destructive
global commerce.
Yeah, there wasn't like a mutually destructive situation that would happen by like bombing Great Britain because Germany had its own things going on. But if you look at it now, let's say United States, China, Russia, all these economies go and fight each other and all these things happen and disrupt the supply chains. The reaction is going to be so bad this time and things have to get bad before they get good that it's going to snap people awake to the fact that we can't ever do this again because of the damage that comes out of this intertwine. We're not going to move from globalized to less globalized. It's going to keep going up and to the right.
I agree, and that's what I've always talked about on the gray area. Is I look at it as phenomenal when these other countries like Russia, they say, hey, instead of fighting us in the Arctic, do you want to develop these resources with us? There's a lot of money to be made. I see things like that, and I go, phenomenal. That's a no-brainer. Like, why aren't we working with them? Why do we tariff India and abuse them when they're willing to make shit for us? When if China's the grand enemy and everyone hates India, and that's what they do. That's their favorite thing to do, is to hate on India. But if you don't want to make stuff in China, then you got to make stuff somewhere else that has a manufacturing base. So we mess with them, we fuck with them, we fuck with the other countries, trying to at least like end a conflict or make a deal with us. And then we empower like the brokest people on earth, or the brokest nations on earth. Excuse me. I don't want to insult the people that live in these places, but Ukraine, widely known as the most corrupt country in Europe, right? Widely known, but they're the people we give 300 billion to. The EU, they have no resources. They strip mined everything a century ago, literally. But there are like, we got to keep them happy.
Right.
Right.
So remember, from World War II, they were able to conscript a bunch of people. When they tried it again in Vietnam, what happened?
People didn't like the draft. Did they use the draft in World War II? They drafted people?
They drafted people.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
So the thing about that is you've got the new generation now. Do you think more people are pro or anti?
I don't know my history in regards to that. Not the question you just asked, but the draft. But just I'm not sure about
from a baseline. Do you think more people are more or less? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. Do you think people are more peace or more war these days, from an individualized perspective?
What the people
want?
Well, I mean, you got to go young, old, right? Because the older people, they fucking love it. The boomers and the older Gen X people, they love the idea of the Rocky IV movie.
Now let's break that down. Why?
Let me make the point. The boomers have seen all their lives or propaganda for successful military operations. So they believe that we can do anything and everything we want to do. And they have reason to believe that because that's what they were told their entire lives.
Yep.
Getting into what we were talking about earlier about us being able to see everything on social media, that's why younger people are against war. Because the old person looks at it and just goes, fuck it, who cares, right? Like America is the best and we do this and this is what's happened my entire life. You look at a photo of a dead baby and you go, huh, maybe that's not okay. And that's the difference.
And they also didn't show the dead baby like X in the actual bombing. Like people didn't get that in the news for the boomer. The boomer got whatever the media shared them, and they weren't showing dead bodies on the front page for people to actually see. So if that's the case, boomers don't have that much longer, right? We all know this. They're all reaching
they'll be like 90 years old.
Yeah, they're all reaching that like 10 to 15 years left. New generation comes in. What are you going to teach your kids? Right,
to be anti-war.
Right, exactly. So that is going to spread because it's a generational thing. So therefore, there is no reason to not conclude that the entire world has to become more net positive against that.
You're white pilling, and I understand you're giving a lot of evidence for it and whatnot, but this is still just a claim, right? You're saying this about the world.
It is, but like
then it explodes into conflict this year. And I look, it's gray area.
It's about the time periods from which the wars happen have been decreasing and decreasing.
But I disagree. Like we've been involved in perpetual conflict, even if it's small, right? And you say like, oh, like a perfect example is like this, like, oh, it's just a regime change operation. That's not a war. We don't count this as a war in the statistic, right?
So let's think about it though. How many people have died in that versus an actual legitimate war where they used to have back to back to back to back?
Well, there's a difference in causation, right? This has no causation. There's no reason for those people to die versus a war. If it's agreed on and ratified and signed off, even if it's wrong, it's legal. This is illegal.
Well,
there's more illegal operations going on today than ever before.
Because we're forming rules to prevent more conflicts, which is perfectly makes sense.
That's what we tell people though, and then we do more shit.
What I'm just trying to say is look, if we're talking about death and we're talking about war. Even if you talk about Israel, Gaza, or like Ukraine, the numbers are minuscule compared to if you even just go back like 500 years to all these conflicts.
And I get that. I get that. I concede that. I agree that's a good thing, and things have gotten better in that regard.
I'm saying,
but just to say the world is peaceful or more peaceful than ever before when there's active violence going on more frequently, even if it is smaller scale, I just don't agree with that.
But again, that's also media. You have to take the confirmation bias that comes into
so
as
if
well.
there wasn't media of it and we were in a situation like the boomers, we're just watching the TV and we're seeing less death and less of these actions, then do we just go, oh, it's good? It's good that we're doing stuff like this because it's more controlled.
You got to repeat the question.
Is it good to do stuff that's more controlled and more contained and less death if we're still doing it? This is my point. If we're still doing military action, but it's okay because we only killed a few people.
What we're
you're breaking the law. It doesn't matter like if you murder one person or 10 people.
I 100% agree with that. That's why I'm saying we're getting down the tail end of the thing. It hasn't been abolished. I'm not saying that we're having no wars. Well, I'm saying you take this, expand it over another couple hundred years, you're gonna see it go even to this point to where people aren't going to be doing even these things that we're seeing. Because there'll be some more cooperation.
Well, maybe America will like kill itself and won't exist. And you know, maybe that's true. If America falls off into the sea, maybe Tim's future is correct. But I think when we lose everything, when we have that crash, we will go to full on total war because whoever is running the country at that point, whether it's JD or AOC or Gavin Newsom, they're going to go, well, World War II program, baby. World War II. Build those weapons, right?
No, I see what you're saying. Last point I'll make on this. Again, it's very easy for these conflicts to happen in these third and second world countries because of the fact that they're third and second world countries. The reason why these conflicts don't really happen between first world countries, and I don't even put Ukraine as a first world country.
Ukraine is a fucking third world.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Right. So there's a reason why like China and the US haven't like actually put boots on each other's grounds, right? You have to just wait until you just have to wait. Like, again, there's less third world countries than there were back, 50 years ago. And that number will keep decreasing to where everybody's got their guns, everybody's got their weapons, and it's like, don't mess with me. And there's a certain amount of like interchanging of like all the resources that people are like, look, you do this, you're messing up everything for everybody.
You want to talk about peace. You want to talk about a more peaceful world, a more civilized world. I raise you the New START Treaty. So
what is that?
The New START Treaty is a nuclear control agreement between the United States and Russia. I'm not sure if there are other parties involved. There might be, but they're minor in regards to the main two. And the New START Treaty limits the amount of warheads they can have operational, limits a bunch of things. That's one of the reasons why Russia's bomber fleet was out in the open when the Ukrainians rolled up with the drone attack, is because it had to be publicly visible. Like each country's nuclear force has to be viewable by the other country. That is about to expire if it has not expired already. And the thing the Russians have done over and over and over again in 2025, whether it's Secretary Lavrov, whether it's Medvedev, whether it is who is that other guy? There's one more. What they have said is, look, we just want this to continue. This would be really bad if this doesn't continue. And the current administration has shown zero interest. And that was one of my reasons for voting for Trump.
And that is the current one, 100%.
Right.
But you remember, like,
I'm worried about nuclear war. I'm worried about one person making one bad decision that ends the world.
Well, everyone's got enough common sense to not let that happen. Because there's only
all right, fucking difference of opinion.
Except for maybe like if Iran had them, man. I'd be like, all right.
Well, that'd be very questionable. That's beyond anything. I'm more worried about us or Israel. Well, like we would be the people that would do it, or Russia would do it. They do a tactical nuke in Ukraine or something like that. I could see that happening for sure.
How many times have they bluffed, man?
Well, it doesn't matter. All it takes is one time for real. And like when you can actually do something like that, bluffing is not bluffing because you actually have a hand to play. It's just not playing your hand. It's just folding. It's how many times have they folded, right? That's how I would think about it. But I agree, and it's an interesting point. Let's look at his charges, and we're going to get to the Trump press conference here in a second, in the second hour that's already started. The last 20 minutes of it are very powerful because you can really see how he thinks. He hates reading off a teleprompter. The initial press conference is just him kind of talking quietly, but he gets excited when he talks to the press. So Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Now, we talked about this before we went on air. Why does everything happen in the Southern District of New York?
Because of that is the #1 spot where all things take place.
Right. And that's where all the intelligence agencies are clicked in to various operations. That's where they charge people. That's where James Comey's daughter works, all of it, right? Ghislaine Maxwell, they move her to Club Fed, Southern District of New York.
Yep.
Nicolas Maduro has been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. That's a crazy charge. Did they invent that just for him? I don't know. We'll have to look at the history of that.
Possess machine guns and that is the weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, it's like the foreign dictator.
It's the new version. It's the 2.0 of WMDs.
That's a good point, Tim. That's a good observation. They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. On behalf of the entire U.S. DOJ, I would like to thank President Trump for having the courage to demand accountability on behalf of the American people, and a huge thank you to our brave military who conducted the incredible and highly successful mission to capture these 2 alleged international narco traffickers.
You know, imagine being like not even just the president, but just somebody who's like of position and power in Venezuela, or even if you go back to like Iraq, where like they know they're not actually trying to like provoke, like no one's stupid enough to provoke the United States to hornet's nest. And then realizing, like they say, possession of machine guns and destructive devices.
You have a military, and I don't like you.
Yeah, conspiracy to possess them in order to use them against the United States. Isn't that kind of wild? And you're sitting there.
It's just you have a military,
and you could
not
say,
allowed to.
But you could sit there on trial, say, "No, I'm not trying to do that," and they're like, "You're guilty."
Right?
Lock him up, and it's just it's a death sentence at that point. There's nothing you can do. Right. That would be a very deflating experience if I was on the other end of that. And then
we got Bukele, we got the leader of El Salvador, posting a meme where Maduro is talking to the old El Salvadorian president, and I guess
said Bukele.
The people of El Salvador can rest assured that no meddlesome upstart, no puppet of imperialism, separate the peoples of El Salvador and Venezuela. We will remain united. Bukele, if you mess with us, you will wither away. Bukele will wither.
And then the picture. That's so cooked.
You might be wondering how I ended up like this. What's the meme? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the little kid at the beginning of the movie.
Exactly. And it's frozen in time when something bad's happening. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And then we get cameos from people like Zelensky, who says, if this can be done to dictators like that, the United States of America knows what they should do next, implying Putin. And look how he is happy as a pig in shit. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, he's loud too.
Я тут відреагувати. Ну, що я можу сказати? Якщо...
Yeah, it's not even in English, but this is what he says. And you can kind of hear it too. And,
what can I say here?
Yeah. Look at him. Look at this tone. Oh my God.
You ever see that dog, the wiener dog, with the side glance?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, can you pull that up? That was like literally the perfect image.
Yeah.
Damn, you moved it.
No, that's okay. We'll find it again.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good. Oh no, where is it?
Yeah. Go find the image real quick.
I'll find it.
Oh my God, dude. You have big ocean. You will not feel pain now, but you will feel pain later. Yeah, I mean, like, look.
Yeah, we found it.
No, it's a video.
What the fuck? Everything's messed up. This is why, and if y'all want to support us so that we have a switcher, you can go to goprimalcore.com and you can buy an excellent high quality supplement that'll improve your life and your family's life if you choose to give it to other people. I highly recommend that you do that.
Just keep it
go
on
to
there.
goprimalcore.com.
Just keep it on there.
He's a good boy. You can't really see it, but you see we got there. And then we got this guy. Yeah, but he's even happier. You know, I don't think the example's correct. Like it's beyond anything. Like he's grinning. Look at the body language on this guy. Because he's like, okay, and here's my argument going forward from the war topic is he knows what this means. He knows this is good for him. Because this means that the other side, Russia, China, BRICS, will be emboldened and they'll do a military action. And hey, you want to continue your win streak, right, Mr. Trump? You did so good in Venezuela, Mr. Trump. Now you come to Ukraine and you help us build big weapon. Yeah. Just a little billion is all they need. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, this is he deserved Grifter of the Year. And there are a lot of good candidates, but the fact that after 4 years damn near of conflict that he is still in charge and they are still getting money, it's beyond anything.
There's no elections, of course.
No. And then he talks about dictators. He calls Putin a dictator, saying they have rigged elections. He has no election.
Don't you think he would lose if he was
absolutely. Absolutely. But it is wartime. There is no reason for me to have anything like that. Then we got this. Nicolas Maduro likely will be held at the same New York City prison as Diddy.
Obviously, they're going to be kept in completely different parts.
Well, I wanted to give you a little surprise when you came to the United States. And, I know this man. He's a great man. Sean Diddy comes. He's in jail with you now. And I'm sending him into your room. And he's got baby oil. And he's going to use it. Oh, no.
Don't drop the soap.
Oh, no, dude. Well, probably that means they're at Rikers, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
it's New
something
York.
like that.
It's New York. Very interesting. Very interesting. That's an interesting infographic. And then, of course, we had protests, and this is in New York, I believe.
Is that a? Hold on, go back one. What?
You'll see it again. It'll the communist flag.
Am I seeing that right?
It'll come back.
This is in New York.
Yeah, I think so.
Get him out of there.
We'll go back to the start so you can.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah, see, it's time. I've been there. I've stood there, bro. I've been there before.
If you look to your right, you will see a red flag with a sickle and a hammer.
I'm sure some of these people are real. This reads as an op to me. This is like in The Boys, like that show. This is like season 4 where they have all the political shit.
Oh, and they fake there's some fake people.
Seriously,
that could be a planted flag.
Dude,
you know what?
I mean, it's designed like, this is the enemy, right? Like this is America stands against this.
What does communism have anything to do with this, by the way?
Well, I mean, I think they're making like a pro Maduro argument, because they support communism or socialism, and he's a communist.
Oh, well, here's the history.
Whatever the hell.
Here's the history lesson. If you want to see how well communism did, just go look at some of the history of Russia, let alone China, when they actually really did it. So it doesn't work, guys. I don't understand why people don't sit there and actually go read up on their history before flying the stupid flag. Like, it has
communist flag is crazy. It's like people are like, you fly a Nazi flag, I'll punch you in the face, you evil Nazi. But like they killed like 40 million people or like 20 million people, whatever it is. It's insane. It's not an op. They're just idiots, brainwashed.
Preso. No war, peace.
I think that's an excellent point. But hey, like ultimately, I'm sure I don't agree with a lot of these people's politics. I don't agree with this military operation. I think it was wrong and illegal, right? So like I would want to protest this, but then if you protest it, and it's kind of just like the Candace Owens thing, like you're looped in with whoever's making the argument the loudest, right? And that's the problem.
And if you say anything against it in the wrong way, then you're lumped in.
They attack you too, and like there's no loyalty. So,
by the way, that guy carrying that sign, her too, they don't even know who he is or what he stands for.
What do you mean? That's the most Venezuelan looking person.
All they see is headline attack, and I guarantee you they don't actually look. I don't support the United States going in there, doing fucking shit up and just doing whatever we want, right? But Maduro's not a good guy. Like, we're not going to sit here and pretend on the show that like he's like the best president ever. Well, there's a lot of people that don't like him in his own country too.
I understand that, but look at it from the perspective of like you're a Venezuelan national or whatever, and the United States invades your country and captures your leader or whatever, and they haul him off in cuffs and they take him to the U.S. I would imagine that anyone from any country would be pretty upset.
Yeah, that's just coming from like a nationalistic perspective of just not wanting to like have like save face and not be like the little guy who got picked on, right? Like, I understand that, but I'm just saying Maduro in itself, there's perfectly good evidence to be consistent that he actually stole that election too. There was some very shady stuff that went on with that election, and I really should do a deep dive to actually cover who Nicolas Maduro is, because these Americans holding these signs don't know what the hell they're protesting.
Well, I disagree. You're Con Inc. today, Tim.
You're saying
conservative Inc. today.
This guy,
I'm gonna make a stand here. We're gonna argue.
This guy holding the sign, I guarantee you, does not know. I'm okay with no war on Venezuela, but sitting there holding a sign like Maduro's the best president ever,
Where do you see that?
Go back to the first guy with the long hair.
All right, we'll go back to that.
Stand with Maduro. Like, what does this have to do with any? Like, he's not a victim.
I get it, and you know what? I'll come around to agree with you on the point of ultimately, like, there is no positive, good solution that could have ever come out of this, right? There's no new government that's going to be the best thing ever that gets appointed and it fixes everything, regardless of what side it came from, whether it was a new cartel leader or whether it was someone we put in there. And a very interesting caveat to that, Trump has said in the presser that, like, that lady who, like, wanted to give him the Nobel Peace Prize that she got, the Venezuelan lady's like, oh yeah, well, they don't like her. They don't like her, so I don't think it's gonna happen. And that was crazy. I was like, damn, like, he really, there's no honor among thieves.
Well, I mean, you still have to let the Venezuelan people decide. If you really want to do the proper,
they don't give a shit, man. Like, we'll lie.
Of course we don't. But then you have the election. Then you have more of the same slop that really is why the United States destabilizes these countries. So.
Right. I agree. I want to go to a few more things, and then I want to review this Trump presser with you, because that is really the meat and potatoes of today. And if you stuck around so far, you're not going to want to miss this. This is where it gets really, really good. Now let's go to the protesters arguing. So it's like you say, you got people that are from Venezuela, apparently, that are anti-Maduro, right? And then they're talking to the people that are pro-Maduro, and they're arguing with Spanish to each other. Yeah.
Regresen, que Estados Unidos no lo quieren. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere.
He's saying return.
Regrésate, que Trump no lo quiere. Delincuente. De todo su país completo.
All of you are what?
¿Qué haces tú aquí? Tú no eres estadounidense.
Can't see the video, by the way. You gotta
oh shit, my bad. My bad. That's all. Got pro and anti-Venezuelan people, or anti-Maduro people.
Look, I'm perfectly okay with people who are from Venezuela making their case because they're more familiar with it. But it's like the gay person who's like sitting there parading for
gay person.
No, listen, this thought is going to come.
You're attacking people.
It's the gay person that's literally like saying pro Hamas, and like they would open us with, they would let us in with open arms when they realize they don't realize they would actually kill them. They would literally kill you if you went in there.
I hear that point, and I agree with that point. It's just, look, like, international law basically does not exist. So we might as well just live in Narnia, and everyone can just believe whatever they want about whatever country they live in. And then Americans can believe whatever they want about the God Emperor Trump and whatever. And that's what I broke with last year, is realizing that, like, we really do have to be post-duopoly, that it really is all just a grift, a giant grift on the American people to get as much money out as possible for these defense companies, for these contractors, for the military industrial complex.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. So let's just go ahead and go to the real stake of tonight, besides your segment, which is the press conference here. And I've got timestamps, so I know exactly when the good part starts. We can go back to the beginning of it, and we can check out the
first 2 minutes or so was pretty good when he said that, but just go to the main stuff.
124:35. This is where he starts to take questions.
Before that, I actually have a smaller clip that can show the very first portion of that.
Where?
Let me see the wheel real quick. Go ahead and yap a little. All right, so we're done with these.
Oh, you DM'd it to yourself.
Yeah. I actually posted about it here. Just pulling it up for you guys. Give me a second. Sorry. All right. So this is part of the beginning.
We're going
Give it to me.
Place called Venezuela.
I know.
We're going to run.
All right. This is some of what he said at the beginning before we get into Rex's part.
Place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with
having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do it safe, proper, and judicious.
But that's not war.
How do you enforce that?
Well, beyond that, that's not war. Taking over a country is not war if you do it for a good reason. And who decides if it's a good reason? The government decides if it's a good reason or not. It's a giant circle.
It hurts my brain because it's like, just put this in reverse, and somebody literally comes in the United States and says, look, we don't like Trump. We're going to put another guy in. We're running your country until we figure out who to place there.
Right.
You think the average Americans are going to be like, yeah, come on in. We love you.
Transition. And it has to be judicious, because that's what we're all about.
Yep.
We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela.
For my new empire.
That includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland.
Now, this is true, and I did hear this from multiple people that are, in fact, Venezuelan, and this is what they told me. You know, like the number, it's crazy. It was like a fifth of their population just up and left. It's like 5 million people.
Yep.
Those were the people that actually had money.
Yep.
That left and could afford
class
to leave. And that's why Maduro has a base of popular support, is because he did give the people that had nothing the subsidized oil money. So you have to look at these conflicts, and it's not just like murder. Yes, it's like there are actual reasons for these things happening.
We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind.
That would be bad. Imagine if it was me that took over. I don't care about them, so it can't be me. It can be Marco. Little Marco. Look at his face.
Decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time.
How many times are you going to say it?
Essentially until such time.
Wait, I'm confused. How long are they going to stay?
Venezuela will transition from being a male to being a woman, and it's Venezuela's lifestyle choice that it is made, and we support that. And I am for country affirming care, where we change your leadership to like it's beyond anything.
Proper transition can take place.
6 times.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place.
Our oil.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And
what is the country? Us, right? That's what I take the country to mean. But he goes, oh, it's for the Venezuelan people. And then he goes, of course, we'll get paid too. Paraphrasing.
We are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were.
Okay, that's good exposition. I enjoyed that. That's good. You got to keep in mind, it's real monotone and dead from Trump when he's reading off paper.
Well, he reads off paper, then he has to add his little ad lib. He's like, in this really big thing, really big, and then he goes back to reading it, and he's oh yes,
there is that, and I agree. But you really see him come alive when he gets the opportunity to do crowd work and interact with reporters. So check this out. We're gonna react to this.
He's in full form.
This is why I always make sure to watch the full thing, especially with Trump and anything you're dealing with him. Is like the last 20 minutes. This is gold,
because it's not going to turn out well, and so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Is that a message for Cuba, Mr. President?
I look like a sad turtle.
Please. Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil.
We will be rebuilding everything. We will be running it.
Okay, so
we will be in.
Here's what doesn't make sense, and I'm not going to detour too much. How do you enforce this, right? Like the VP, I forget what her name is, literally says we're not
Something
conceding.
Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia. She literally says we're not conceding. This is like, if you didn't understand what the Venezuelans' immediate response was to this, by the way, they declared a national state of emergency. They accused the U.S. of imperialist aggression, and the military was deployed domestically, but they're not doing a counter operation. They're just sitting defensively at this point.
And this shows you that it's just a beginning. Like,
right.
There's going to be a lot more stuff that happens in Venezuela.
How do you enforce these rules without another conflict?
Well, you have the tier 1 operators go to the politician's house and hold a knife to their neck and say, like, it's over for you. Like that's what I think.
He's out here speaking French. We
Directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid.
Yeah, okay.
And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow.
No, I like 80-20.
I was going to say, what do you think the breakdown is going to be?
Exactly. I think 80-20 is
super fair. Super fair.
And I wanted to go 85-15.
Well, look, I came and I liberated you guys, so I deserve the 80, of course.
Yeah. I helped you.
Yeah. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground.
There it is.
There
it is. There it is.
And that's the prelude to future conflicts. And you talk about like the world being more peaceful, and I understand your point, and I can agree with parts of it. This is why America is the problem. Is because like we're saying like, yeah, like he's feeling his oats now. He's like, yeah, like we can do this. Like we're not afraid to say boots on the ground anymore. Boots on the ground, that means your children, your sons dying potentially in a war. It's never a good thing, but it's a tough boomer thing now.
Well, no, you put boots on the ground. Right. Venezuelan army is going to openly welcome you, as well as the 2 million tortas that have the guns.
Yes, they're going to hail you as the leader.
We had boots on the ground last night. At a very high level, actually.
We're
not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it, but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack.
Rubio is such a fucking psychopath.
Could have gone very, very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people
and
that
give
were
money to America.
taken advantage of.
Don't forget.
We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important.
Well, it's everybody.
We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole.
They stole our oil. We built that whole thing. He's talking about American companies coming down and building building oil rigs and whatnot and extraction points for the oil. That means that anywhere that we do that across the world, if you do something bad to us, we have to liberate our oil, right? Because we're developing it wherever it may be. And this is what I mean by the precedent, Tim. It's so bad.
Well, here's the thing. We go into a country. We did this also in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, this is what we do. I'm sorry, it might be Iraq that I'm talking about.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, sorry, Iraq. We basically say, let us dig oil here. No, it actually is Saudi Arabia.
All right.
We say, let us dig oil here. We'll build all the infrastructure and we'll give you a piece of the pie. This is how we do it. And they did this like several decades ago, and then eventually what they did was they nationalized the oil rigs, the oil fields in Venezuela, and they said, look, I don't remember the exact reason why they took them back, but obviously it was for their own personal reasons in which they didn't like what America was doing on some form or fashion. to basically say, well, this is our resource.
I guarantee it's the revenue split. Like I was saying, like that's got to be the problem.
Well, 80-20 sounds fair to me.
And that's the thing is like, who knows? God knows. Only God knows what kind of rates the U.S. and the Exxon set.
Those are easy. Those are easy to find. It's just I haven't really looked into it. You know,
we got to investigate that. I think that's the key.
Industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
Yes, it's all being done right now. We're designating.
And what did you just say, Tim? That they declared a state of emergency and they got a new president they've already put in.
Yeah.
And so
the VP is literally what happened. The VP got put in place.
And this is the thing. And we were initially pulling things up before the show. I'm like, I got Trump saying all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, I want to get it from the horse's mouth. And I'm like, well, like, why not just watch the Trump thing, right? And you're like, well, like, he's lying. And you're right. Like you're 100% right. Because if you are MAGA chud, if you are a boomer Zionist chud or whatever, and you watch this, like, and you're like, wow, well, I guess new government in Venezuela, Trump's going to run it all. It's all okay. Right. And the government's like, no, like, emergency. We're not doing this.
Do you know the riots we would have if like Somalia invaded America and then instilled a Somali as the president just temporarily until we figured it out? We would have riots on our hand because it's not representation of the people, right?
We got Linda Brown in the chat. Shout out to you, Linda. No, you're
ExxonMobil sued Maduro billions and won the lawsuit.
We'll have to look into that.
Why wouldn't they win the lawsuit? It's in America.
That exactly.
Why wouldn't we win that?
We investigated ourselves and found no evidence of wrongdoing. I did the investigation. It was me. And Epstein never existed. Same thing. We don't get Epstein files. We don't get peace in Ukraine. We get Venezuela strike and then Maduro meme. And that's satisfactory.
People, we're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Would run Venezuela.
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time. The people that are standing right behind me.
Oh no!
Are going to be running.
Oh no!
Marco Rubio, the new leader of Venezuela, right there.
Oh no!
And he's like, try not to look at the camera. Try not to look at the camera. And anywhere
he's trying not to smile.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a dead. I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. I know how much money people spend. People aren't buying stuff anymore. Like it's crazy. Like, I'm in the business of selling goods to people, and the economy has not gotten better. It's not gotten a lot worse, but like, you can't. He speaks things into existence, and I get it. It's a sympathetic magic way of doing things. It really is powerful. But the problem with the self-fulfilling prophecy is you don't control where it goes. Right. It's like a monkey's paw. It's the bad version of what you want. You'll get what you want, but it's not what you want.
1000%. And we're sorry for pausing it. It's just there's so much. There's just so much ridiculousness.
That's why we have it.
Yeah. Let's let a minute play. Let some people get some meat.
A country doing better than any country anywhere in the world, and it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there. A lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance at one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others, we have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Rubio would be. You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader.
So this is where it gets really crazy, right? Because I've been talking about this on the show, and I'm like, I'm educated. I know about things. I'm smart. I've been watching geopolitical news, and it's Machado, the lady with the Nobel Peace Prize, that's going to get in there. And I know what's up and up, and apparently not, because he disses her super hard here.
Well, in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Rubio would be. You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship
Well, I
going?
understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He's just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
No.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, no.
You love that, don't you, Tim?
No.
Make Venezuela. What is that? Miva?
Miva.
That's crazy.
Wait.
Make Venezuela great
So
again.
go. Let's
rewind a little bit.
No. Keep it here.
Okay.
Let's get out of this real quick and let's pull up the VP and what she actually said, because this is where we were talking about before the live.
Okay, where did you have that?
This is all the way at the end at the right.
All right.
Sorry, the last X post there.
I got it.
Hold on one second.
All right. Tim's got to take a call really quick. I'm going to talk about this for a little while. So getting into it, Machado was the person that I thought they were going to replace Maduro with. And I thought this was very key and very clear. According to all the analysis that I'd seen on channels like Dialogue Works and Judge Napolitano, I just thought that's what was going to happen. And clearly I was wrong. And I was also wrong about the war prediction. I was 2 days wrong. And Tim won that argument. We'll go ahead and go to this now that Tim is available. Delcy Rodriguez, that's her name. She's sworn in. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has been sworn in as president. She says what happened in Venezuela can happen in any country to brutally use force and twist the will of the people. She says the people of Venezuela are patient and they will find a way to freedom.
And then if you
as the president of
go ahead. I haven't played this before. I don't even know what
Venezuela. Let's listen in to this media conference.
This means and what our energy resources mean. So this National Defense Council is hereby activated, commissioned, and we are
National Defense Council activated. Does that sound like we're running things now? It's all control. It's all under control.
Make Venezuela great again.
Yeah.
waiting the constitutional chamber of the Supreme Court. Over the next hours, we will hear what the verdict is. We will wait to see what happens with the Supreme Leader, President Maduro, and all of this is going to be discussed as of this point in time. For our Venezuela, our people, here we have a clear government, and I repeat once and again, based on the words of the president, I reflect them right here. We are willing to respect under the framework of international law and the rules of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. It's the only thing that will be acceptable for us for any engagement and relationship after there has been an assault and aggressive attacks militarily on our nation and capital. And the nation of our father, the liberator, Simón Bolivar. We will find our path forward in peace and tranquility. Those who have resorted to the use of force, those who must resort to international legality, don't have a reason on their side. We have reason on our side, and we have the moral empowerment to be able to defend peaceful.
Moral empowerment, Hellfire missile. Fuck you. Like ultimately, and that's the Chud argument, but it is true. Ultimately, like they're not going to be able to affect any real change if we actually want to go in there and run the place. And it sounds like we do.
Look, if they stole your president right from underneath your nose in 3.5 hours, there's really not a lot you get to say.
No, this was a good find.
No, I didn't even realize.
And tranquility for the future of the people, the right to peace for the Venezuelan people, and the right to a social happiness that we continue galloping forward with our liberator together. We're going to continue to gallop forward in this campaign. We will continue galloping forward to free our greater nation and to be united, because what was done today of Venezuela could be done to any other country as well, to brutally use force to twist the will of the people. This could be done into any country
and that is the point, right? And that's why it's wrong. That's why it's illegal. That's why we shouldn't do it.
Did she say they're going to concede? I didn't see that there.
No, she definitely. The entire thing is a non-concession because she's activating a National Defense Council. They're making a decision as a country. It sounds like, but 100%. It sounds like they're leaning towards conflict.
And what she's saying here is she's just trying to save face for the country, seem strong, But really, they're terrified, man. Imagine being in those rooms.
Well,
where
yeah,
literally you
and
just
I mean, ultimately, and that's why like there are superpowers and there are countries, right? And like a country like Russia or China, even though they get messed with by the United States, they don't have to worry about something happening like this because they have nuclear weapons. There are two types of countries. There are countries that have nukes, and there are countries that don't have nukes, and that gives you options that you don't have.
It's the have-nots and have-yachts.
It's literally like there are people, and there's people that have a gun, and the people that have a gun have an option. The people that don't have a gun don't have.
Yep.
And like
that's well said.
Yeah, that's the global situation. What do you think about this, Tim?
We can go back.
But
to your
what do you think about this as a whole, about what she represents? Because it's not what he represents, right? Like, what's your take?
I think here's what they would have to do. Like, look, in order for the United States to like run the country the way that they want to, you would have to get on the same page with the vice president.
You'd have to have approval.
Yeah, you'd have to have approval, because here's the thing. I don't think Venezuela is going to concede, and Trump is not going to look weak either. This just ends in more bombing. Like we said before, this is just the beginning of it all.
Yeah, and I guess
there's no way that this ends here.
I guess they do just bomb you until you give up. And I mean, like, that's a very effective strategy, right? Because like it's the Gaza strategy, right? It's bomb you until you give up.
And what they'll do is they're not going to level buildings. They're not going to sit there and like, they might have collateral.
It'll be targeted.
It'll be targeted.
They'll level military.
They'll level military buildings. They're going to keep attacking institutions that have like the missile defense. They're probably going to sink some ships. They're probably just going to show force until a point at which Venezuela has no point but to actually take whatever person the United States wants to instill and make that person the legitimate leader of whatever country. And what they're going to do after that is they're going to take all the people that supported Maduro, and those people are going to be either thrown in prison, killed, or they're going to have to flee to another country.
Right.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I agree. I agree. Good take.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So just what your message is about that.
Has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine.
Who doesn't? Don't we have poppy fields that the soldiers guard? Like it's the picking and the choosing. And I'm sorry, I know I need to let it play, but we literally facilitate drug manufacturing or have in the past.
And most of the actual cocaine production comes from Colombia, by the way.
Right.
Like
so why
90-something percent.
Do them first, right? You think you do them first.
And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
Sure. We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based.
Oh, no. We don't tell them when we're going to launch military invasion of the country and seize the president. We don't have to tell Congress about that. No. And see, this has been normalized since before Bush. This is the end result.
Oh my God, I'm having an aneurysm as I'm watching this. Also, after this, I have the video on the War Powers Act, just so we can revisit exactly what they're actually what that means and what Congress is actually supposed to have say on when it comes to these conflicts. But we'll let it play out, guys.
Beyond anything.
Mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify.
I think he's the next president of our country.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that.
In 20 years.
Is it Marco Hispanic?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's probably why
Obama.
They chose him, because he's at least he's close enough, you know.
He's an ethnic.
It's like taking the random black guy and sticking him as like the president of Nigeria.
I don't know the difference between Mexico and all these other places down there. So
the potato.
This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming.
They would have stopped
at
it.
some point.
They would have stopped it from happening.
A lot of ships out there, they sort of knew we were coming. We wasn't. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
People to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know, the safe place is all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people.
Yep. So we killed a lot.
Yeah, he had to. Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition.
How many people
a lot of
think
gunfire. You
this
saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place.
Hundreds.
Which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47, I think 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get
thick door,
to
heavy door.
He made it
I describe things. What I do.
Go ahead, finish.
To be in the time being right now. Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held?
So-
Where is he going to be held in New York?
The amount of people that are at the presidential's
Presidential honor
guard, right? Okay, so that's his formal brigade that actually is
his secret
immediate-
service.
right? And a brigade is a large unit. That's roughly 1,500 to 2,000 people in personnel that handle that type of protection at his location. So if you strategically strike, you kind of like poke a hole within the
Saran wrap of
the
line, yeah.
Right. And then by the time that the rest of them are able to respond and figure out where the thing is happening, they probably were in and out, is what I think. That's
Right.
crazy, though.
It is wild. It's nuts.
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me,
that
then.
weigh on your
Well, that's where we had different-
it's not me, it's the other guys. When I do it, it's okay. And that's literally that's the entire history of Trump. And this is why I should have been more, like, I hate to say the word, but more woke to it. Is his entire history is saying, oh, as long as I do it, it's okay. It was like that on Twitter. We got banned. As long as he's on Twitter, it's okay. As long as I declare war, but don't declare war, it's okay.
Different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know, we're rebuilding.
Okay, so technically here, he's got 90 days. According to the War Powers Act, you're not allowed to have boots on the ground within another country in terms of this type of military capacity for more than 90 days. So we'll see how this plays out, guys.
Infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago.
Imagine how much money you could make.
And we're going to be replacing it.
You were out
we're
there
going to take a lot of money out so that
salivating.
we can take care of the country. Yeah.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when
Well,
it comes to the
in terms
oil
of
and
China
drugs?
and Russia, Russia, when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to get it. In other words, we'll be selling oil.
That's clean, isn't it?
Probably.
Wow. Wow.
You want Venezuelan oil? We'll sell it to you. It's just going to be us.
That is insane.
This is why I was saying this is crazy.
Nothing, like he's not even trying. I haven't seen this. So
Yes.
he's not trying to hide anything here.
No, and that's the thing about the Trump administration is that Is it any different than any other administration? Is it any worse? No, you can't make the argument it's any worse, but they'll actually tell you, yeah, they had the oil and we wanted to take it and sell it to the other country. Like it's like a mob boss. This
just set the time frame of like us getting to global peace pretty far back.
I 100% agree.
This definitely pushed the needle back because people are watching this.
Yeah, this is why I was so negative, Tim. It's like it's really bad.
In much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad. So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it.
It's
now,
our oil, remember.
But I would say many more will come.
Are you saying, Mr. President, are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that? Oh,
Mr. President, thank you.
Ooh,
what is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time.
See, he tells the truth.
In plain sight.
He tells a little bit of the truth.
He didn't even say all. Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna have some. You're gonna have some of the treasures. We're gonna have most of them. Don't worry. We're gonna take custody of the goodies, but you can keep 15%.
I'll eat the burger. I'll give you a piece of the bun.
Yeah, I'll give you one fry, a single fry. Wow, and we'll go to the war powers thing.
Keep going.
One more minute.
It was stolen from you, but you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. If you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country, and they destroyed it. Remember, I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly. When you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids. And that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military
They're
troops
going to be a
to provide?
team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure.
What the fuck does that mean? That's imaginary.
By the way, while you're sitting here trying to run another, look, while you're trying to run another country, right? This is like only one conflict in one situation that we're involved in among all the other things the United States is trying to do across the world.
Yeah, there's like different things.
Yeah, how are you supposed to run an entire country properly plus try to do all the other things?
Yeah. No.
So now what? What is Rubio? He's the president of Venezuela and no longer, our diplomat.
There are memes of him, like wearing the presidential outfit and all that.
That's hilarious.
Venezuela, right? Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over.
They don't have a government. What's a government? I don't understand. They have a government in Venezuela. They have vice president. Like it's and New Groiper says it's America first. I agree. It is. We're going in there and we're taking all their stuff. It's good for us. Like it's objectively, this was a success, but morally, I am opposed to this. Ethically, I'm opposed to it. And it's not what I fucking voted for, man. And like, I disagree with it, and you can like it, and that's fine. Other people like it. People are very fascinated by it. But at the end of the day,
you can like it while it's not happening to you.
Let's give it 6 months and let's see if there's not like communist guerrillas running the country.
You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, "We'll do whatever you need." I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this.
I said, I'm going to rape you. And she said, okay. She didn't really have a choice. But
yeah,
it's the same argument, right?
Same argument.
Seriously, it's not okay.
But, if we take a trip down memory lane, Afghanistan, Iraq, we decide to like topple the government, put in their own people, especially with Afghanistan. If you think about it, we went in there, took their guy out, put our own guy in there, left all the military there without like jobs and stuff like that, and formed ISIS. What internal enemies do you think we create if we do this wrong?
Well, I mean, talking about Colombia, he's very fascinated with Colombia. You have the FARC, right? And that's like the Forces Aligned for like a Revolutionary Colombia or whatever the Spanish for it actually is. And they've been active since the 50s, right? And they're still around.
Well, they're probably not a real threat, are they?
No, they're a very real threat.
Are they?
Yeah, like that's the entire history of South America. That's why the CIA wasn't successful.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they're.
I was thinking of a different.
No, I totally get it. They're a big problem. They're an even bigger problem than the cartel, really, because they're also the cartel. Right. They also sell and traffic drugs. And the reality of destabilizing a government is, no matter how bad the dictator is or whoever the figurehead is, whether it's Saddam, whether it's Assad, whether it's Maduro, you look at the person, you say, okay, what happens if I get rid of them? Who replaces them? And it sounds like he's not even interested in the people that are already currently in government. So
because they're part of the same system. Why would he choose that?
What do we usually do? It's like with Al-Julani over in Syria. We find a guy we've worked with before, and then we put them in charge. So we're someone like that, and I'm shocked that he dissed Machado like that, and he came out and said that people didn't like her and whatnot. Maybe that's reverse psychology for him doing it later, right? Yep. Maybe that is how it works, because he is tricky. You know, Unc is tricky. He plays games, but I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally.
So it's not even true. It's one guy.
Yeah, they have a government.
Greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
What is being done to protect Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
I'm waiting for
2 days ago. Okay, and well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Ooh, well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country.
We want oil.
That we protect.
We have hold on. No, we have tremendous energy in that country.
How close is Venezuela to our borders? Last time I checked,
it's like 1,000 miles away.
You could swim across and start an invasion. Of course, we've got to have peace.
Right.
We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Is a message here for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba is an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years.
Maybe it has something to do with the sanctions.
And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about, because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation.
Our people on YouTube are on to something. You know what's crazy, guys? Everyone who's in YouTube talking about Epstein files, I honestly got amnesia myself. I literally forgot today, and probably the last few days, that the Epstein files have not still been
well, that's why we're so beautiful.
This is so beautiful, the smoke screen of us forgetting. And so everyone's sitting up here like praising this guy, well, not praising him, but like asking him questions, and they're not even going to ask him about Epstein in this situation.
We want to help.
It is wild.
The people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement.
Yes.
Is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. Really, no, we haven't.
Mr. President,
we should just take Cuba next.
Mr. President,
it's Colombia.
Well, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very
and that's shocking.
Nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years? Well,
it won't cost us anything, because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us anything. We will.
It's not going to cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. The oil that we are going to steal is very substantial. Therefore, like
it'll offset the cost.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it'll offset the cost. We can buy more military equipment to steal more oil and so on and so forth.
We'll move our equipment in there. We'll base our ships out of there. And then we'll probably use we'll probably use Venezuela stuff as well. And then, look, this could be, I hate to say this. This is so bad of me.
Uh-oh.
If we did the right thing and actually enriched Venezuela by all right, let's say we build it for them. And then instead of taking, this 80-20, like we're joking, and we give them I don't know, they get the 80 and we get the 20, right?
Right.
That is probably okay, that's a win for the Venezuelan people because we're actually bringing technological advances and helping them. Now, do I think we're going to do this? No, because why would corporations want to pour that much without actually seeing most of that money?
Why would they want to give
free
you
charity? No one wants to do free charity.
You're cutting in the profit margin. You can't do that. It's not allowed. It's the cardinal sin. You're cutting in the profit margin.
Right. I am cutting into the profit margin, but that's the only way I see this actually being a win. But you could have done this outside of an armed conflict. It was just because they probably didn't want the agree on the percentages.
Yeah, some poor little kid. Please, oil company, give me healthcare. Please, fund the program. It's not that expensive. There's only 30 million of us. Please, shut up, kid. We're taking your oil. Fuck you, America. Hell yeah,
brother.
And people are pro that, and they want to feel proud about something we've done as a country because everything we've done as a country for the past 80 years has been horrible.
No, I'm seeing a lot of MAGA. They're angry, dude.
Yeah, I would hope they would be angry.
They're angry.
Well, we want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies. They're going to go in. They're going to everything
that was
that we
the truth.
spend.
That was a one.
The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be. It's going to be a very important. This is a very big.
And see, they'll take over the country, and then they'll make the country sign a deal with them, saying the country owes them money for the invasion.
So it's like you got it for free in the
beyond
first place. Yeah, you basically got this for free because the reimbursement literally pays you back for everything that you built there, and then you get to scrape more money off the top.
It's a beautiful, beautiful grift.
Oh, my place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy.
Anakin Skywalker.
Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground.
Really do get
you
it.
take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing, and the people of Venezuela will be there.
Is the military going to send in U.S. military?
What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said,
take the L.
You got to surrender.
Basically.
And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but
look how proud he is. Look even there. Look at the pride in his face. That's a happy man right now.
With him, and I said, you got to surrender. And
fuck yeah, I got his ass.
Actually, thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did. Yeah.
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras.
He won.
I endorsed
That's
the
what's
man
important.
Who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina.
No.
And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. and we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who.
Did he address the conviction? I'm sorry,
No,
did I miss that?
And it's just 437 tons of cocaine. It's not like it's a big amount or anything. It's just a little bit.
Oh, so wait, I thought the cocaine was coming from Venezuela.
No.
So why didn't he get pardoned?
No, you don't understand.
Oh.
All the fentanyl in the world and all the cocaine comes from Venezuela, and it comes from other places as well because we say so. Actually, it comes from any place that has oil. Any place that has oil also has fentanyl.
Be careful, Canada.
It's a fentanyl to oil ratio.
Careful, Canada.
Yeah,
coming next.
You notice how we talk about the border up there now? Our problems up there. They're going to have an issue. Yeah, I imagine they fly helicopters in there.
So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that and treated
on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the
We're looking for a Russia comment. It's towards the end here. I'm not going to find it in time. We're tired. I've been deer hunting, and this is a special broadcast. Me and Tim weren't expecting to do gray area today. We have a massive interview tomorrow with James Fishback, the guy who's battling Byron Donalds for the Florida governorship for the gubernatorial race. That's going to be phenomenal, and you're going to want to join us at 7:30. He comes on at 8. I believe, right?
It comes on at 7 Central Standard Time. Sorry.
7 p.m. Excuse me, 7 p.m.
So we'll be on before then, probably around 6:30. Get you guys started, and then we'll bring him on as a guest. But that is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You guys better be there. We have some great questions for him. I'm actually very excited about this one.
I'm super excited about it too.
One of our this is one of our biggest guests by far.
He's our biggest guest.
Yeah.
He's our biggest guest in terms of like modern political relevance. It's a big race going down there. It's very charged and important on a number of different issues. America first, Israel debate. You got Florida, which is a real hotbed of people that are like real pro-Zionist versus really anti-Zionist. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. There's a lot of implications for future presidential elections. There's all types of stuff that we're going to cover with James Fishback, and we really appreciate him giving us the opportunity to interview him and come on the gray area.
100%. Right? And thank you to Nimrod Pod, because he was the one that mentioned his name many moons ago on a call-in, and I didn't know who he was, and he's like, "You guys familiar with James Fishback?" And I was like, maybe heard the name but not really sure. And he put us on, and I looked into him surely, and then I was like, well, okay,
right,
let's get him on here.
Let's close out with the War Powers Act, but let's watch this video really quick. This is the perp walk of Maduro. What's that on his head?
It's the mask.
Tonight. Happy New Year.
Dang.
Happy New Year.
Dang.
Okay. Or farming from prison.
He's trying to save face, man.
Hey, you know what? That's honorable. I respect that. You know, don't be totally defeated. Be a little happiness. Yeah. Pull up the War Powers Act, and we're gonna end on this. But this is key, and we've discussed this ad nauseum multiple times on the show. This is what it all comes down to. Whether you support this action or you dislike it, at its core, it is illegal. So
it is.
What are you finding here? I see the thread.
Posted it.
73. Richard.
Yeah, and here, let me do it. Go ahead. And
yeah. So, according to the War Powers Act, you guys are going to see this, but this is illegal. It doesn't even matter. You're going to see all the other presidents who have done these similar things. This is just one that's more recent for us to grapple with.
The year was 1973. Richard Nixon was president of the United States.
I am not a crook.
U.S. troops had been fighting in Vietnam for nearly 18 years, all without an official declaration of war. This prompted Congress to pass the War Powers Resolution of 1973, preventing any future president from involving the U.S. in
fucking Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes phenotype. Ass motherfucker.
Congress had traditionally declared war or authorized
I owe like 11,000 push-ups
against enemies beyond its borders, a power granted exclusively to them by Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution. The War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, these were all declared by Congress. But after World War II, things got a bit fuzzy. Some presidents started taking military liberties with their role as commander-in-chief of
This
the
is the
armed
type of
forces,
shit I did as a
a power
kid.
also
Read
granted by
reports
the
like this.
Yeah.
In 1950, President Harry Truman sent U.S. troops to help defend South Korea against North Korean invaders. He called it a police action, so technically it wasn't a war. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy sent supplies and military advisors to South Vietnam. Less than a year later, U.S. troops were fighting in the Vietnam War, including in the Gulf of Tonkin, all without that official declaration. And then in 1969, President Richard Nixon began bombing Cambodia in secret,
I forgot about
hiding
that.
missions from both Congress and the American people.
No, this
It
is
took more
what
than a
we
year
do.
for this information to leak
This
to
is
the
what we
public.
do as a
And
nation.
it wasn't until 1973 that Congress
Long
ordered
time.
an immediate end to the
All
bombing.
right, this is where the
But at
meat
this
is the
point,
potato.
Congress realized more needed to be done to check the power of the president when it came to war. So, on November 7th, 1973, Congress passed the War Powers Resolution. The idea was to ensure that Congress and the president agreed on war actions before committing troops into hostile situations.
I do love my country. I hate
There
my
are
government,
a few
though.
key parts to the War Powers Resolution. First, the president must consult and report to Congress before sending troops overseas.
Did that happen?
No.
Rubio.
But you say he has 90 days, right? So get into that.
Oh, it'll
Let it
explain
play.
here.
Though he or she can initiate sending troops in the case of an attack.
Oh wait, did we get attacked first?
Well, they attacked us with a fentanyl. Remember the 1%
Okay,
of
right,
1%
right.
of
You're
fentanyl
right.
that comes from there. They attacked us with that.
You're right. I'll shut up. Yeah.
Second, if the president initiates a
Don't be
hostile
racist,
action,
Tim.
it can
You don't
only
want to be
last for
racist
60
against
days
the fentanyl.
plus
Oh, wait,
a
this is
30
it.
day with
This is it.
Second, if the president initiates a hostile action, it can only last for 60 days plus a 30-day withdrawal period. Then Congress has to vote on whether it can continue.
I told
Unless Congress
Venezuela. I
can't
told
meet
you. I
because of
said
an
I'd pull
attack
out.
on the
I
US
said I won't stay inside you.
Forces
I'll pull out
independence
of the
can't
country.
meet
I promise.
because of
I
an
promise.
attack on the US
100%.
mainland. And finally, can continue. Unless Congress can't meet because of an attack on the US mainland. And finally, if forces have been deployed that aren't acting on a declaration of war, the president must remove them at direction of Congress.
You know, even if they do this, right? This goes through Congress.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you
I
do
guarantee you they have a loophole, or it takes Congress too long by the time they do.
Well,
all this
if
stuff.
you do it in 3 hours, then by the time Congress can pass a resolution or do anything against it, it's already over. And like we're gonna.
He's already going to be in jail by the time they actually bring the house together.
We're gonna see a lot of different types of this. We're gonna see a lot of different episodes of this nature.
Although the War Powers Resolution had broad bipartisan support, it didn't pass without a fight. After they voted to pass the bill, President Nixon vetoed it. Nixon argued that it violated the constitutional powers of the president, and that the only way to limit the president's role as commander-in-chief would be to amend the Constitution itself. But Congress voted again and overrode the veto. The War Powers Resolution became law. Despite the resolution, presidents and Congress have still
We
been at odds
don't
when it
listen
comes
to it
military
at
action.
all. It
In
exists, but
1981,
only in
President
theory.
Ronald Reagan deployed several U.S. military advisors to El Salvador.
You
without
are either
reporting to
with
Congress.
us or you are with
Some
the
members of Congress filed a
terrorists.
federal lawsuit, but the court dismissed the case. In the 90s, President Bill Clinton sent forces
I did
to
not
Kosovo,
have
and
sex with
troops
her. I
remained there for
promise I
more than
didn't
the
do it.
60-day
I
limit.
swear.
This resulted in another lawsuit from members of Congress, but once more, the federal court refused to intervene.
Nobody ever
So
caught
while the
me.
War Powers Resolution has limited the president's ability to send troops overseas, the branches of government still wrestle over their powers.
All right, so we're already going to see what's going to happen here, guys. You literally can see it, right? The president does something illegal. Congress takes him to court. Federal court, because it's controlled by the
Right.
Fed in the first place, shuts it down. So they're like, what's even the point of checks and balances anymore? Is there any
Well,
balance?
that's the
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Is
Is
like
there any balance?
There really aren't. The three branches of government isn't the modern political system that we have as designed as we should. In fact, we have an oversized executive, a stripped legislative, gridlocked at most times or stacked judicial system, and then you have the bureaucracy, the people that are unelected, that are appointed to positions that run things, and then you have the lobbyists and the different industrial factions, the military, the pharma, the other people. And
Right.
those last two groups, and another one, will throw in the intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, NSA, all people like that. That's the real three branches of government. And then you have the three branches of government underneath that is controlled by that top group, right?
Yeah.
And the argument with Trump that everyone's made, it's everyone's like, I'm pro-Trump. Did I tell you what? The argument that those people make is he appointed bad people and it's not his fault. He didn't know. He should have been smarter and done a better job. And it's like, no, he appointed who he was told to appoint.
Right.
Right. Like Miriam Adelson wanted Marco Rubio to be VP. And Trump's like, you're going to kill me if I do that. So he had JD be the VP and he had Marco be Secretary of State.
Right.
So we've reached a level to where we talk about this on the gray area. Like these systems have failed over time to a point it's not real anymore.
And look, the War Powers Act,
Right.
they laid it out in plain English there. First step
You
is
have
you
to notify
notify
Congress. Yeah.
They went on live TV.
So you couldn't do that.
And said,
yeah,
we didn't. Somebody asked explicitly, hey, did you let Congress know? They're like, no, they would let the secret out. We can't tell them because we don't want them to know because they might let some secrets out and then it wouldn't work. Well, that's the whole point, dummy. Like you got to let Congress know so that way they can actually decide what to do.
But people will support it because it's cool and it's based and bomb blow up, Maduro get captured. Me.
So let's say, all right, failed first one. Do you think they're out of there in 60 days? 60 days from now.
It's
this is the clock
interesting.
from the 3rd. So we've got what? 60 days from now would put us in March.
It'll be March 3rd.
Okay, so
or
let's
like 5th or
remember
something
that
like
date because that's the day we're supposed to withdraw troops. So let's see if that happens.
I bet they'll find a mysterious paramilitary figure to run the country, and it'll just be like Al-Shara or Al-Julani as he changed his name to in Syria. It'll just be another operation like that. I think this was good coverage. I think we did a good show. I think we dug into everything.
Nice little last minute put together for this whole thing.
We covered it. And going forward, we can say we covered it on the day. We had been talking about this. We had even made bets and predictions on this. And Tim, by a couple of days, won the bet. He won the prediction.
2026.
It was 2026 when the conflicts began. So we're here on the gray area to give you only the best coverage of all those things going forward. You ready to sign off?
I am ready.
All right, we're gonna take
because we got
fish back.
We got fish back tomorrow. You guys are gonna see our beautiful faces again.
That'll be a longer stream as well.
It'll be a longer stream. Tomorrow is actually going to be fun because we're doing fish back, but then also we're going to be doing a little game show that I've put together. So
how fun!
It's about corrupt politicians.
How fun!
How ironic. Okay. So, anyways, I'm Looney Tunes right now.
Me too.
I'm not even here.
Yeah, me too. I'm not even in physical space anymore. I've transcended, but it's okay. And we want to remind.
This isn't even real life. If everything
it's
we
all
just covered.
simulation. It's all simulation. But we want to remind everyone: if you enjoy the show, if you want to support the show, if you want to get high quality supplements for yourself that support your vitality, your energy, your well-being, your power. There are things that have existed for thousands of years, some of them in our diet, some of them found by ancient medicine and tradition, that'll vastly improve your quality of life, that'll make you feel better, that'll increase your vitality. And you can go to goprimalcore.com. You can check out these phenomenal products that we have. You can support the show, and you can make it so we can get a switcher so we don't have to be on the keyboard and the computer. We can have some ninja pull things up all the time.
Also, as a side note, we had callers call in, and they talk about specifically Elemental Drive is a very big one. I've been taking these every single day, by the way.
Feel good?
I've been feeling better.
Feeling
way
fantastic.
Better.
Yeah.
It's the thing that they're talking about. Like when I didn't take it, I realized how I felt kind of like sluggish without taking it. And it was just a natural. It's not like you're like zooted on roids. It's like more like you've got a little level more like
natural
energy.
Balanced, consistent. You can take these things for a long time. These things are studied. These things are safe. And these things are readily available to you at great prices if you want them at goprimalcore.com. And you can use code CORE25 to get an additional 25% off at checkout. And that's a big deal. There's other things you can do to get discounts. It's great. Subscribe. That's a big deal if you want to get it monthly, especially the Elemental Drive. Because Elemental Drive, basically all it is the highest quality forms of minerals that you need specifically as a man, but it's unisex. Both men and women need it. Highest quality magnesium, highest quality zinc, highest quality copper, highest quality boron, highest quality selenium, highest quality vitamin D3. That's 5 or 6. I believe it's 5. It may be 6. I think it's 5 on there. That's 5 of the top highest quality vitamins and minerals that you can find at the most hyper absorbable form that you can find. That's what you want to get when you're looking at supplements or anything new. So go to goprimalcore.com and check that out.
And the goal is very simple when it comes to these products.
Right.
it has nothing. Really, the value that we get is specifically on the value that we provide to you guys. So with this, the only reason why we formulated this as well was specifically around the fact that, like, in today's society, a lot of the foods that we have, a lot of the things that we have in society don't actually need
depleted.
Depleted. And it's because of the nutrition gap that comes from there. At the end of the day, what has always worked still works today. And somehow in society, we've gotten away from going from what our ancestors used to actually use, which is the whole point of the primal part of Primal Core, is to go back to the root and actually feel like your ancestors used to feel. That way, you know that it's been time tested and you're not taking some new, like, crazy, like, people are taking like Ozempic and all these other crazy like substances.
This is not Gila Monster Venom. Unlock your human potential at goprimalcore.com. That's the key. Is you want the time-tested, time-proven, ancient best things, you go to goprimalcore.com. You want to support the show, go to goprimalcore.com. You want to do both those things, go to goprimalcore.com. Phenomenal Gray Area Live.
We appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you guys. Tim Tompkins, Rex Jones.
See you guys tomorrow.
God bless. Good night and Happy New Year to everyone that's out there. Happy New Year. We love you and we appreciate you.
Modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years, these natural remedies have been harvested and tested by generations. Why create complex formulas when nature's roots are still in our hands? Try Primal Core. Ancient remedies for modern life.